Not long ago, Viktor Gyökeres looked unstoppable. Every weekend, his name appeared on score sheets. Every highlight clip showed strength, speed, and certainty. And quietly, one question began to form in football conversations across Europe. Was this striker ready for the next level? Now, that question has changed. Because today, people aren't asking how good Viktor Gyökeres can become. They're asking something far harsher. How bad is Viktor Gyökeres, actually? Is he overrated? Is he a system player? Or is this simply what happens when numbers are removed from their context? To answer that honestly, we have to slow the game down. We have to move past goals, beyond headlines, and into the uncomfortable space between performance and perception. Because Viktor Gyökeres isn't a mystery striker. He's a misunderstood one. Before the doubt, there was belief. Gyökeres didn't rise through hype or marketing. He rose through production. Born in Sweden, his early football years weren't marked by instant recognition. He played for smaller clubs, refining movement, timing, and instinct. Those who watched closely saw a forward who understood space before it became space. He anticipated runs, measured his acceleration, and learned how to force defenders into mistakes. At Sporting, he wasn't flashy. He wasn't delicate. He didn't win attention through tricks or flair. He won it by being relentless. He ran channels defenders hated tracking. He pressed with aggression. He used his body like a tool, not a shield. And most importantly, he scored. Not just tap-ins, not just penalties, but goals that came from movement, timing, and physical dominance. This early success painted him as a striker who could handle any environment. And scouts across Europe began to take notice. But football is rarely simple. Here's the first truth that gets lost in debates about Gyökeres. He is not a traditional striker. He's not a poacher who lives between center backs. He's not a false nine who floats between lines. He's not a technician who survives on tight touches. Gyökeres is a momentum striker. He needs space to accelerate. He thrives when defenders retreat. He becomes dangerous when chaos replaces structure. Think of him less like a surgeon and more like a wave. When the wave builds, it overwhelms. When it's broken early, it loses force. This distinction matters because different leagues break momentum in very different ways. In Portugal, Gyökeres often received the ball facing space. Defensive lines dropped. Midfields hesitated. In faster, more aggressive leagues, that space disappears instantly. Defenders don't retreat. They collide. They close him down before he can reach peak speed. When Gyökeres' numbers dipped in higher pressure leagues, the conclusion was immediate. He's not good enough. But numbers only tell half the story. Goals don't vanish on their own. They disappear because chances change, touches change, patterns change. When Gyökeres moved into a more intense environment, three things happened almost immediately. First, he received fewer touches in high-value zones. Second, defenders engaged him earlier, breaking his rhythm. Third, opponents built specific plans to deny him space. None of these mean he suddenly forgot how to finish. They mean the environment changed faster than his adaptation. This is where perception becomes dangerous. Because fans don't watch spacing. They watch scorelines. A striker without goals becomes invisible. A striker with goals becomes inevitable. Gyökeres' movement is subtle but highly effective. When on the ball, he drifts between lines, forcing defenders to decide, follow him and leave gaps, or stay and risk giving him space. Off the ball, his runs are measured, sometimes diagonal, sometimes straight, designed to pull central defenders out of position. This is why even when he doesn't score, he still generates danger. He doesn't just occupy center backs. He forces mistakes. He opens space for wingers, midfield runners, or overlapping fullbacks. The difference between a good striker and an elite striker isn't just finishing. It's the ability to manipulate defensive structures without the ball. Gyökeres does this, but his system and league need to match the style. Confidence begins to fade not because a player is bad, but because football is unforgiving. Strikers feel pressure differently. They don't get applauded for covering ground. They don't get praised for dragging defenders. They are judged on one thing. Did the ball cross the line? When it doesn't, narratives grow. Overrated. Exposed. Found out. But here's what doesn't show up in highlight clips. Even when Gyökeres doesn't score, defenses react to him. He presses. He occupies. He creates opportunities. This is a striker still adapting, still learning the nuances of higher-level competition, still building patience in a world that rarely allows it. In Portugal, space appeared naturally. In the Championship or faster leagues like the Premier League, space is denied immediately. Gyökeres' strengths, acceleration, timing, positional awareness, all require the right conditions. When defenders press aggressively, close down quickly, or employ zonal marking with high coordination, his style becomes less effective. This is not a statement of weakness. It's a statement of environmental fit. Some strikers can adapt instantly. Others need time to reshape instincts that once brought success. The difference between a flop and a late bloomer is rarely talent. It's fit. Fit to system. Fit to tempo. Fit to expectation. Football history is full of players misunderstood because their skill set didn't immediately translate. Gyökeres now sits in that category, a striker caught between versions of himself, the one who dominated a league, and the one still learning how to survive another. Football rarely gives players patience, but history shows us something interesting. Strikers who learn when they struggle often return stronger. The story of Viktor Gyökeres isn't finished. It's paused, and how it resumes depends on adaptation, not judgment. For teams willing to integrate him properly, the potential is still immense. For players who can translate momentum into any environment, late growth is common. So how bad is Viktor Gyökeres actually? He's not elite. Not yet. He's not a fraud. Not even close. He's unfinished. This story is about translation, adaptation, and patience. It's about understanding what lies beneath raw statistics. It's about the small movements, the unseen pressures, and the rhythm that makes or breaks a striker. If you enjoy football stories that slow the game down and ask better questions instead of louder ones, share your perspective. Comment below. And if you want more calm, thoughtful football documentaries like this, subscribe and stay connected. Because football isn't just about who scores. It's about understanding why. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.